So, with the Meta Connect event coming up on September 17th of this year, it got me really thinking about augmented reality and virtual reality and stuff. One of Meta's big focuses this year is going to be on AI glasses. This means that they're probably going to be talking about the Oakley Metas and the Ray-Ban Metas, along with whatever the next generation of their smart glasses are going to be. These new glasses are rumored to have some sort of a built-in display into one of the eyes, which would allow you to see responses from the onboard AI, as well as hopefully see things like notifications and maybe other information. However, we already have a lot of options for smart glasses these days, and even more options on the horizon. So, what are those like? First off, let me define what smart glasses are, because this is kind of a broad term and there's a lot of different things that could be considered smart glasses. So getting started, there are what I believe to be 5 main types of smart glasses. The first one would be glasses with audio integrated. So these would be glasses that just have basically speakers in the temples right by your ears, as well as probably some sort of a microphone array that allows you to communicate either for calls or to an onboard AI or something like that. After that, there would be glasses that have a camera integrated. So these wouldn't necessarily have a microphone or speakers. It would basically just be a camera. Think like GoPro strapped to your face. After that, you would get something that would be display integrated. So this would be a pair of glasses that has a display either in the lens or somewhere on the frame that allows you to basically see information, as well as possibly interact with it either through like an app or maybe some sort of onboard controls. These come in typically 2 flavors. You're going to have ones that have some sort of a HUD, like a heads-up display, or there's actually going to be like physical, like a micro OLED or like a micro LED display somewhere in the glasses. After that, we're going to get into glasses that have some sort of standalone AR capabilities. So usually these kinds of glasses are going to have an onboard processor, either like a Snapdragon XR or AR chip or something like that, that allows it to do computing on the glasses. So you don't necessarily have to connect to another device for external processing of information. But a lot of times they're going to allow you to do that to kind of share the burden. Now, these AR glasses may also incorporate a lot of the other features from the audio or display or cameras, because a lot of times if you're going to be doing something that requires some sort of onboard processing, it's probably because you're doing something with a lot of components. So a lot of times these are going to have cameras probably for tracking your space, as well as a display to show this AR information, and probably you're going to have speakers and a microphone so that you can kind of interact with everything that's on the screen. And that brings us to the last type of smart glasses, which these don't really exist to my knowledge at the moment, but these would be glasses that provide some sort of a vision augmentation. So it would be like you could either zoom in using the lenses, like maybe they can change prescriptions on a dime or something like that, or something along those lines. Something where the glasses maybe physically contort to allow you to have some sort of advantage in being able to see. And here's one last one that I don't know if they're really considered smart glasses, but there are glasses out there with like smart features. Like there's glasses that integrate with an app that allow you to dim the lenses, so you can have a pair that's clear, but then when you need them to be sunglasses, you can adjust the dimming level based on how bright it is outside. So those, I guess, could also be considered smart glasses, but they don't really have anything that is like a smart feature. There's no interaction with anything. It's just an app is able to control a component of the glasses. And so getting that out of the way, now that we kind of know the different types of smart glasses and what's available out there, I will just get into what we actually have available today, what kind of glasses there are out there that you can buy either in the past or you can just go and order right now. Getting started, the first ones, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to know about because these ones are probably the most well-known smart glasses on the market right now, are going to be the Meta Ray-Bans or Oakleys. So these glasses are in the category of the audio first glasses. So you're going to have a speaker on either temple, right by your ears, as well as some microphones on there. However, they also have cameras integrated, so you're kind of getting a little bit of both of those there, but I think their primary function is mostly for speakers, and then they have an app that integrates where you can take videos. So the Meta Ray-Bans, you can do 1080p videos on those, as well as you can take calls, listen to music. There's the onboard Meta AI that you can talk to using the microphones and the speakers. And yeah, and I think you can do video calls as well. So yeah, you've got a lot of features there. The Oakley brand ones actually have a slightly higher resolution for recording and taking photos, but and I think the only other difference is they've just got a longer battery life. So those two are going to be your audio and camera glasses that you could buy now. But going off of that, there is another pair of glasses that I don't think you can really get your hands on new anymore, but they have just a camera integrated, which is kind of weird. I don't think there's been many other glasses that do this, where it's basically just a camera. And those are the Snapchat spectacles. These glasses originally came out in 2016. They released in these weird, like, vending machines that would just kind of pop up in random cities, and you could go and you could buy a pair. I forget how much they were, but you could buy a pair of them. They were there for a limited time, and so you didn't really see a whole lot of people with them. I think, to my understanding, they were kind of a bit of a failure because they just did not move many units. But yeah, those had 3 generations. There was the first gen came out in 2016, the second gen came out a couple years later, and then a third generation came out a little bit after that. They're on a 4th generation now, which is totally different, and they've kind of gone like the full AR route. The new ones, the 4th generation, are really bulky, big glasses that have displays built in, and they've got a microphone and speakers and a little like display in the glasses. So those ones are super crazy, but these original ones, the first 3 generations, were all basically just glasses with a camera in it, and so it would sync with your Snapchat app and you could record videos and take pictures. Outside of the camera, there wasn't really any like smart features with these glasses. They would basically just take pictures and videos. I think the first generation only did video, and then they decided to add photo options later in the second and third generation, so super strange. But yeah, there was no microphone on board, no speakers, no anything like that, no display, just this camera. Going on to the next pair of glasses, they would be the Even Realities G1s, the G1A and the G1B. So those are actually the glasses I'm wearing right now, and they have a display and microphones in it. So they use a binocular waveguide display. So there's like this little tiny projector in the bridge, right over, not in the bridge, in the side of my glasses here, that shoots onto a piece of glass in the lens, which you may or may not be able to see when the light reflects off of it. You'll see a little kind of a rectangle in front of my eye. But yeah, that's where a display is. It's a single color, so it's just green, and it can display basic information like notifications, the weather, time and date, things like that. There's also a couple like apps built in to the app where you can get like navigation for like walking or bicycling. They don't really recommend you use it driving a car for obvious reasons, for safety. But yeah, it can also do translation. There's an onboard AI that you can talk to. It's got a whole bunch of stuff like that. So going on to the next pair of glasses, these are called the Halliday smart glasses. These are similar to the Even Realities in the fact that they have a display built in, but their display isn't a waveguide display like the ones in my glasses. They actually have on the top of the right lens, just right above here, there is a little tiny projector in the pair of glasses here. It shoots a display directly into your eyes. Once again, it's just a single color, it's just green, but it's a circular display that you can see in almost any lighting condition, because you don't have to worry about the light from outside blocking it like with these glasses where it hits the lens and makes it kind of hard to see. Since this one's shooting directly into your eye, you don't really have too much of an issue there. The cool thing about the Halliday glasses is they also have speakers and a microphone built in. So those, you can see visually the information through their little UI that they've built. And there's also a pair of speakers so you can listen to podcasts, music, things like that. and there's a microphone on board. There's also a touch strip along the side of the glasses that allows you to interact with things, and you can buy an optional smart ring that goes with it that also allows for controlling of the display. So I think there's a little touch capacitive thing you can kind of spin through menus and things like that. Going on to the next pair of smart glasses, these I don't think are so much in the vein of smart glasses, more as they are just display glasses, but I figured I'd include them because I feel like a lot of people would possibly consider them to be smart glasses. But this is going to encompass a large group of different types of glasses made by lots of different manufacturers, because I think the current companies in this space are going to be like Ray Neo, Rokid, X-Real, Viture. I think there might be a couple other ones, but they're basically going to be these glasses that you can wear on your face, display in each eye, usually a Sony like micro OLED panel or something like that, 1080p typically, outside of the new Vitures that just came out, which I think use a 1200p screen. It's basically the same thing, it's just a little bit taller. Anyway, these glasses use something called bird bath optics, and so they actually just have like a regular screen like you'd see on like your phone or anything. It's just very small in the top of the glasses pointing down, and it uses a mirror to bounce the image back into your eye so you can see it. So these glasses are a bit more clunky. They've got a little bit more extra space pushing out from the front, and so it does make them a little bit less comfortable for everyday wear. Not to mention there's this huge chunk that's going to be like right over here that kind of blocks your peripheral vision, and they're a little clunky, and you got to use a USB-C cable to connect into the back of the stem of the glasses. Typically you plug that into anything that has USB-C DisplayPort video out, and then you can basically just mirror the screen. If you're using it with some of them, they'll have an app that you can download on your phone that'll allow you to get some sort of like a spatial computing kind of thing going on, but nothing too crazy. Most of them are just going to be display mirroring. Some of the newer ones, they integrate cameras to try and get some like 3 degrees of tracking or 6 degrees of tracking going on. And then from there, they've got some basic AR capabilities. Nothing crazy, and it's not anything you'd be able to just wear around all day long, since they're gonna have to be tethered, and they also don't have a battery or anything like that. Most of the time you're not going to have built-in prescription lenses, so you're going to have some sort of a prescription insert. You'll have to adjust some dials. Yeah, so these display glasses aren't necessarily the kind of smart glasses that you could see yourself wearing every day to work or school or something like that to get like notifications on the go. They're just going to be really nice if you're traveling and you want to get like a big screen experience on a small form factor. So those are most of the options that you'd be able to pick up today for smart glasses. A lot of them are going to have kind of basic features. There's not a whole lot of them that have everything in one package. You're going to notice that a lot, where it's like you'll get some of the features and not all of them. So it's very rare you're going to find anything that's got a display, speakers, microphone, and some sort of like an AR capability. But we do have glasses that are being worked on. They've shown off prototypes of these new glasses that are going to be coming out. So just wanted to kind of go over a couple of those. Now, I think the one that most people are going to know about are the Meta Orion glasses, which Meta showed off, I think, at their Connect event last year. They were these pair of glasses with built-in displays. They used waveguides. It made this little kind of like shimmery look on the lenses when you could see it from the front. But they've also got onboard cameras for tracking the world, as well as doing eye tracking and hand tracking. They can also run an onboard AI because they've got a processor on board, as well as a puck that you can kind of put in your pocket that connects to wirelessly to do some of the extra manpower and moving all that information. And they have a wristband that you can use as well. There's a wristband that can basically detect the electromagnetic signals. That's not the word. It is not electromagnetic. Let's just say they detect the electrical activity that goes through your wrist. So like when you move your muscles, it sends a signal, and it can read those signals to kind of make it easier to get hand movements and gestures without having to like move your hand all around. And so I think the way that they put it is that if you're in like a public space or something, you don't want to be like moving your hand to like click on stuff. You can kind of like do like little micro movements with your wrist to do the same thing, which will be kind of interesting. But those were kind of, these Meta Orion glasses are kind of the whole reason I was originally thinking about making this video, is because the new glasses that they're making are going to be kind of like a light version of this, and they're supposedly going to be showing them off at the event this month, which by the time I upload this might be in a couple days or something like that. But yeah, they're going to be showing off a pair of glasses at the Meta Connect event. We don't really know the name of them yet, but supposedly they're going to be pretty close to the Meta Ray-Bans, but they're also going to have a single display in one of the lenses, probably the right one if I had to assume. And it's, I'm thinking, going to be a waveguide display, I think, based on the rumors. But yeah, it's going to give you basic heads-up information, notifications, things like that. So not quite true AR, but you're going to be getting a little bit closer than you were with like the Meta Ray-Bans, where there's no display whatsoever. The next pair of smart glasses that's going to be coming out eventually that seem pretty cool are going to be the Rokid smart glasses. I don't know if they have like a full name for them just yet, but these glasses they've been teasing. I think they just opened up a Kickstarter project for it like this week, and they incorporate a camera, a display, another waveguide, just green display, as well as speakers and a microphone. And so you kind of get the best of both worlds with that. It's kind of like the Halliday glasses a little bit, but if you added a camera. And sure, I don't think they have like the best battery life in the world, but they're getting pretty close. I think they're saying 6 hours of audio playback time and 4 hours of calls. So, I mean, obviously, I don't think anyone's going to be on calls for 4 hours straight during the day on their glasses. So I'm assuming if you really use it with like moderate usage, you could probably get through most of a day. But those glasses seem pretty interesting. You got a lot of the components that you'd want in a pair of glasses that are having some sort of smart features. But yeah, those look really great. And I think the next set of glasses that we're going to look at are going to be the various Android XR glasses. So Google did an event or a section of their Google I/O event this year where they were talking about smart glasses, specifically with Android XR, because Android XR is this new big operating system that they're working on that's kind of meant to be scalable. So it's originally being put on like VR devices or mixed reality devices, as well as glasses. And so they're working on a couple different things for that. There's like their whole Project Wuhan thing with Samsung, but on top of that, they're also going to be working on multiple pairs of glasses that are going to be running I'm assuming a stripped down version of Android XR. And they're working on, I think, some pairs with a couple different like glasses manufacturers like Gentle Monster and Warby Parker are going to be the two that they're working on. They haven't really shown anything for that. The one company that they are working with that has kind of talked a little bit more about it is Xreal. So Xreal and Google are going to be putting out a pair of Android XR glasses. From what I understand, it's going to be early 2026, hopefully. They said in an interview that they're kind of dropping it as like a developer first product. I'm assuming kind of like how the Apple Vision Pro was. So I'm not sure how many units it's necessarily going to sell, but that is something that's coming, and those sound pretty interesting. Personally, I'd love to get my hands on a pair of Android XR glasses at some point, because those sound really nice to be able to integrate with my phone. Since I use an Android phone, it sounds like a match made in heaven. So continuing on Android XR devices, Google at their I/O event this year did show off a prototype for what we could kind of think to be what future Android XR products are going to look like, especially the glasses. They had this thing called Google Martha. It was a pair of smart glasses that they had that paired with an app on a phone, and it had cameras in, I think there was one camera in each side of the temple to use for kind of getting images for the AI, as well as being able to take photos and videos to share with people. And they also had onboard speakers and a microphone and a built-in display just into one eye, again, just because that is just far cheaper and easier to do than trying to put them in both eyes. So yeah, these Google Martha glasses weren't necessarily going to be an actual product you'll be able to buy eventually, but it's just kind of a prototype to show what's possible with Android XR. So hopefully in the future we should be seeing some more stuff pop up from other companies that are going to be making glasses running Android XR, and it's going to be pretty exciting for when that ends up happening. So those are all of the upcoming smart glasses, I guess not counting maybe some stuff that's not announced. So these are all the ones that we know are coming and are probably all going to be showing up within the next year or so. But I guess as a bonus, I just kind of wanted to include at the end of this a a wish list for my ideal pair of smart glasses, because this is something that I've been thinking about for years. So I would love a pair of smart glasses that have a minimum battery life of like 14 hours with moderate use, so you can kind of get through most of the day just on a single charge. That'd be awesome. But like maybe 18 to 20 hours with more minimal use would make more sense. On top of that, I would love to have binocular display so you can get a sense of depth, because I really like that with the even realities, where it's like it kind of feels like it's floating just out in front of you instead of just kind of being like in your vision. I'd also love the ability to support notifications to come through and be able to read and reply to messages, because one of the things I kind of miss on these glasses is you can't reply to messages. Like, you can see them come in and you can read it, or at least like a portion of it, but you can't really do anything with it. You'd have to go to your phone to actually respond to it or see a full message or something like that. It would also be nice to, you know, take and receive calls on here. So obviously these glasses would need to have speakers and a microphone, as well as a display so you can actually see it. And then I would also love to be able to just have it integrate with your assistant that's built into your phone. So either Siri or like Google Gemini or something like that. So you don't really have to use some third-party chatbot AI that can't really like do things for you. Since, you know, like with Even Realities glasses, there's an Even AI on board, but it can't like interact with your calendar to create a calendar event or like a reminder or something. Like, you can just ask it questions, but like I want to have an actual interaction with it to do something on my phone. I would also love to see a pair that have the dimmable lenses like are seen in some other glasses. And so like you wouldn't need to have transition lenses, or like with Even Realities, you have a clip-on pair of sunglasses. It'd be super nice to just be able to, like, I don't know, triple tap or something and they just turn into sunglasses. I think that would just be sick. Obviously it's a little bit more complicated. You've got a lot of stuff you're trying to fit in here, but that'd be super awesome. And then another thing that would be amazing is also just, I don't know, prescription support for them, so you can actually have prescription lenses in there. I think most of the current smart glasses have that in some way, shape, or form. But yeah. And then this is kind of a stretch, but it would be insane if you could also use these glasses as a display. So obviously you probably want some sort of a color display in there, and then if you could just like either plug them in with like a magnetic cable or like a USB-C cable or something, and I could just like mirror my phone to my glasses, and maybe even reverse wireless charge them, or I mean reverse charge them, so you could charge it with your phone and then also display what your phone sees. And so like, imagine you're just wearing your everyday glasses and you're, I don't know, you gotta jump in an Uber or something to go to work, and you got like 30 minutes to kill. So you could just plug in your phone and just start watching an episode of a TV show or something on your glasses. You could dim it so they're really dark, put on an episode of a TV show, it plays through the speakers on the glasses. I just think that would be so awesome. And also, my light just died. So I guess this is the end of the video. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the smart glasses space, and are there any that you have currently, or are there any you're really looking forward to? But yeah, that is all. Thanks for watching.